So, you have played as Michael, the retired bank robber, living a life of luxury. You've been Trevor, an explosive, unhinged ball of rage. You have stolen cars, planned heists, and caused absolute chaos in Los Santos. But what if everything you think about these guys is just the surface? What if their criminality isn't just a choice, but a symptom of deep, dark, seated psychological sickness? For years, we have seen these characters as avatars for mayhem or an anti-hero in a huge story, but their actions, their words, and their explosive fight paints a much more disturbing picture. This isn't just a story about crime, it's a story about trauma, personal disorder, and the rotting core of an American dream. Today we're going to beyond the gameplay to uncover the hidden trauma and mental illness that truly drives the protagonist of GTA 5. We'll seek the cause of Michael and Trevor and explore how Franklin Clinton gets caught in their psychological crossfire. We first meet Michael in his therapy office, the perfect picture of a man who has it all and feels nothing. He calls himself a fat, washed up jock, trapped in a golden cage he built himself. This is just a midlife crisis. It's a sickness born from a deal with the devil. Michael's hidden sickness looks like a toxic mix of narcissistic traits and crippling depression, all fueled by some deep-seated trauma. This isn't just a simple arrogance, it's a defense mechanism. He constantly criticizes everyone around him, his family, his crew, even his own protege Franklin, always making himself out to be the smartest guy in the room. By projecting his aura and superiority, he's making a profound sense of insecurity and self-loathing. He craves validation, and when he doesn't get it, he explodes. Think about one of his first big moves in the game. In a fit of rage, he's catching his wife with her tennis coach. He chases the guy to the mansion, ties a cable to the support beam, and pulls the entire house off the cliff. That's not a rational response. It's the chaotic outburst of a man with dangerous poor impulse control, whose rage is always out of proportion to what set him off. So how did his past lead to all this misery? Michael's entire life in Los Santos is built on a lie. The deal he made with the FBI to betray his crew, fake his death, and get out of the criminal life. But escaping one prison, he built another. His wealth isn't a reward, it's a muzzle. It isolates him, leaving him with a family that resents him, and a life that's missing the one thing that ever made him feel complete: high-stake crime. His therapy session shows a man completely consumed by his past, terrified and realizing his mistakes, but feeling powerless to stop. This is the classic trauma response. He's trapped in a loop, desperately wanting to be a family man, but drawn back to chaos because it's the only world where he felt in control. Michael's sickness is the tragedy of the American dream, done the easy way. He got the money, the house, and the family, but he had to sacrifice his identity to get it, leaving an empty shell. Who doesn't need the money for another heist? He needs the feeling of the heist. He needs that thrill, to feel alive, to quiet the voice in his head telling him he's a fraud. It's the depression that leads him back to Franklin and eventually bringing him face to face with the ghost he thought he'd left behind, buried in North Yankton. If Michael's sickness is quite a rot, Trevor is a raging open wound. Just call him a psychopath is to miss the point entirely. Trevor is a terrifying mix of psychological condition showing signs of antisocial personal disorder with clear traits. Like born with a child of extreme trauma, his violence isn't just a tool. It's his language. It's the main way he interacts with the world that he's only ever shown him cruelty. Trevor's backstory is a blueprint for creating a monster. He grew up with a physical, abusive father and an emotionally manipulated mother, a combination that taught him that love and pain are tangled together. His dreams of becoming a pilot were crushed just days before completion, when he was discharged from the Air Force after a psychological evaluation determined he was mentally unstable. That was the final nail in the coffin. The one institution that could have given him a life structure cast him out. From that point on, he seemed to be embraced the label, becoming the monster everyone expected him to be. His violence often seemed random, but in the following a disturbing logic. He kills for gratification, not always for profit. His unpredictable, violent time bomb, known for his fake his victims right before the attack. A tactic that causes a unique kind of Trevor. The people around him live in constant fear, not just of what he might do, but of how unpredictable he is. Yet, under all that rage and sadness, there's almost a childlike need for loyalty and connection. We have peeled back the layers of Michael's depression and Trevor's traumatic-fueled rage. But what happens when these two broken men collide with a young guy just trying to make it out of the hood? Before we dive into Franklin's role in this toxic trio, if you're finding this deep dive interesting, hit the subscribe button and let us know in the comment which video game character you'd like us to put on the couch next. While the title focuses on Michael and Trevor, you can't understand their sicknesses without looking at Franklin, the man caught between them. Franklin represents ambition and the desire to escape his circumstances. He starts out as probably the most relatable of the three. If you want to get analytical, you can see Trevor as the unrestrained, and Michael has a failed superego. Franklin then is the ego, the part trying to navigate between these two desirable forces. Franklin's story is one of gradual desensitization. He goes from boosting cars to participating in assassination and military-grade heists, with a disturbing amount of ease. Unlike Michael, who is haunted by his past, or Trevor, who is driven by it, Franklin lacks a strong moral compass. Instead, he adopts the role. Whoever can get him closer to his goal. He is an empty vessel filled by the twisted ideas of his mentors. This makes his character deeply unsettling. This shows how an ordinary person can be compliant to an extremely evil simply by wanting a better life at any cost. The secret sickness of Michael and Trevor isn't just about their individual problems. It's about their toxic relationship. They are two halves of the same broken soul. Michael, rotting in his comfortable prison, needs Trevor's chaos to feel alive and complete again. Trevor, an outcast, lashing out at the world, needs Michael as an anchor to his past. The only time he's ever felt a sense of belonging and brotherhood. They despise each other. They can't exist without each other. Their friendship is a mess, violent and built on a decade of lies. But it's also the center pillar of the entire story. Franklin is the catalyst who brings them back together, but he also becomes the ultimate victim of their shared sickness, forced in the end to choose between the man who showed him his dream and the man who embodied the nightmare. The story of GTA 5 is a masterclass in character study, showing that the most dangerous criminals aren't just driven by greed, by the ghosts of their past, and this sickness in their minds. If you've liked this, subscribe, leave a like, comment down below, and I'll get more out there. Peace.